Good morning, personal finance class. Today we're going to start our unit talking about different types of credit. So these first few things are discussion questions, just things for you to think about as we start talking this week. Have you ever borrowed money or lent money to somebody? Have you ever taken out a loan or given a loan? This could be a professional loan through a bank where you're buying a car, buying a house. It could also be a short-term loan. Sometimes there's payday loans when we buy things on a credit card. Or also, have you ever given somebody a loan? Has somebody ever come to you and asked to borrow money? So thinking about this, have you ever taken out a loan or given a loan? What did the loan involve? How much money did you give? Did you put a price on that? If you've ever given somebody a loan or let somebody borrow money, whether it be a family member or a friend, were there any conditions on that loan? Did you ask them to repay finance fees or extra, or was it just something you did short term for a family member or friend? Was there a written agreement, or was it just an oral agreement? Did it work out how you expected? Like if you just loaned money to somebody, did they pay it back on time? Did they pay it back when you thought they would? Things like that. So when you're thinking about loans, just think about anytime you've taken out a loan or given a loan or had credit and how that worked out for you, because as we're talking about credit, we're going to talk about many different types of credit and why there's different rules for credit and how they work out and why they work out the way they do. So when we're talking about credit, why do people need credit? Why don't we just buy everything with cash? That seems kind of straightforward. It's probably because we don't have the cash. That's usually the number one reason. We buy something on credit because we don't have the cash. If we're going to buy a car, new cars these days, $25,000, $30,000 for a brand new car starting. You can get good used cars, or maybe some of the smaller, newer cars down to $20,000 or maybe even $15,000. Sometimes used cars can get down to $10,000, $5,000. We don't always have that money all in a big pot ready to go right off the top. So that's why credit exists. So we're going to talk about some different ways to use credit. Is credit always important? Does everybody need to use credit? Is there any time that we should use cash only or pay up front? Are you familiar with the different parts of credit? The fees up front, the interest payments, the loan repayment terms, the little fine print. If you've ever bought a car, for example, they usually have you sign paperwork that's 10, 15 pages long. Have you read through all those little fine print and what they mean for you in terms of that loan? And then finally, the last key point here is secured and unsecured loans. We're going to talk about what that means and how that affects the different types of loans. So this is just kind of an introduction about what we're going to be talking about, get you thinking about it, and we'll start this unit and start this week talking about all the different types of credits and or credit available, I should say. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I'll make sure that I go over those questions or answer any specific questions you may have. So, like I said, good morning, and let's have a good week.